When Eddie was born, we knew he had glaucoma, and he had 3 surgeries in 4 months. One of his doctors came to us after the 4th month and said, "We think he might have neurofibromatosis."
I was diagnosed with NF type 1 when I was 4 months old, so I didn't really understand until I was probably 7 or 8. So by then, I'd already had multiple surgeries and had my left eye removed.
Basically, they've just debulked tumors throughout the 15 surgeries he's had. The major surgery, Eddie was cut from ear to ear over the top of his head. They peeled back the skin. They took out a piece of his skull, put bone paste in, and metal mesh. Then they stitched him up. And one of my favorite stories was 5 days later, Eddie is jumping off the high dive into the pool, and I was concerned his stitches were gonna rupture. But he was fearless.
I don't really tend to think about on a day-to-day basis about me having NF. I just, live life as much as I can, I go skiing and hiking a lot. It hasn't really stopped me from doing much. I've done, I think, 13 half marathons and 1 marathon.
When he was younger, I was always afraid that other kids would pick on him or make fun of him or just kind of not understand some of the challenges he faces. So I was always just really anxious and worried for him, but he was fearless and he also was a bit rebellious. Eddie was very, very stubborn as a little kid and didn't like hearing no.
Ready?
Is it 10 miles today?
3 miles. No, you're not gonna bump me.
I don't think I ever really had a bully. People have definitely made fun of the way I looked before. It didn't really affect me too much because I had so many great friends that I just kind of ignored it. My only really struggles in school were academically. I was able to make friends pretty easily and played sports. My main sport was soccer. I played that pretty much my entire life. And then lacrosse I kind of picked up at school.
Did you make your bed?
Eddie grew up with NF. It's all he ever knew. And so we just treated him like any other kid. He played sports,
Played
hockey, and soccer and lacrosse. And that's really where he started running and started doing the half marathons and raising money for Children's Tumor Foundation with Ned.
My dad and I still run together a lot. When I'm back home, we'll take our dog and run her down to the beach. And my dad is still doing half marathons with me at 60.
One of Eddie's teachers coined the frame that Eddie's going to get to the finish line from a different angle. And I think that is very true. You just have to keep faith that you'll get there. Eddie has never once complained about it to us or asked us the question why, which I think is probably something that I would say that I've learned the most. Things happen, you just keep moving, which has kind of been his MO.
And then he went on and he graduated 4 years, got a scholarship at DU, graduated in finance in 4 years, and got a job on his own with no help from us.
Guys don't look too good, do they, Eddie?
Given everything that Eddie has gone through, I think it's really shaped our relationship as siblings, and it's a super special bond. Growing up, we've traveled the world together, and I'm really grateful to have a brother like Eddie. He's super sweet, kind, protective, really funny, and just really fun to be around.
Raising funds for the Children's Tumor Foundation has really meant a lot to me, and I hope one day that a bunch of leads are hearing, are at least, more drugs that can help combat some of the difficulties that people with NF have to face. So when I found out that I was the 2022 CTF National Ambassador, I was very honored. I hope that young kids and parents of young kids with NF can look at me and see that even if you have NF, you can still accomplish a lot and go on to live a great life,